are back with another video. Before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Now, if you guys remember, Nicki Minaj spilled some tea on Titanic and Cardi B a few weeks ago. And she talked about how they were trying to force Nicki to do a joint album and tour with Cardi B. Okay. She tweeted, Barney B had the whole label fly out to Cali to beg me to do a joint tour and album with her. I don't want to have to drop the recorded call. Wow. That's why all the sabotage on my tour. Drop the receipts, dumb B-word. You cost them millions with your $4 album and $5 coupon. My goodness, I forgot Nicki tweeted this. Wow. Now, here's the reel on the joint album and tour that we probably won't ever get that was in the works for Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. See, Titanic Records, who tried to sign Nicki years ago, and she turned them down, always wanted to work with the biggest female rap artist of all time, which would be Nicki. That's why they partnered with Nicki with the Barbie World record and the Barbie soundtrack. They produced that soundtrack, okay? And, remember, Nicki Minaj thanked Titanic Records when, Barbie World came out. A lot of y'all forget that. They've been trying to work with Nicki for over 15 years, okay? And they got that one opportunity. I think if she left Republic and went to Titanic Records, it would be beneficial for her, okay? Now, with that being said, though, when Nicki Minaj was pregnant with Papa Bear, Titanic Records had reached out to Nicki Minaj to do a song with Nicki Minaj, okay? This was before WAP came out, okay? Because WAP didn't come out till August, but Nicki Minaj announced her pregnancy in July of 2020, okay? Nicki Minaj said no then, but they were still trying to have this big female rap moment. They believe, and they still do believe, that if Cardi B and Nicki Minaj ever work together, the record would instantly go number one. Okay, would be the biggest record of the year. And it probably would be, but that ship has sailed. Now, moving on from that, Doja Cat's Jealous Type enters the top 5 today's U.S. rhythmic radio media-based rolling chart, but unfortunately on Billboard is dropping down the charts. Here's my thing. I think Doja Cat dominating radio is the only thing saving her, because she's definitely not dominating Billboard and nobody's talking about her album. So the fact that RCA the Colorist is giving her radio, I think they're trying to make the payola stick and for people to support her music. And her album was pretty fire, but people just don't care about Doja Cat anymore. Now, speaking of records that are flopping, Megan Thee Stallion put out her song Lover Girl, but then she dropped the music video hours later. Okay, now I watched the music video on mute. I don't really care for the song, but I watched the music video on mute and her body banging. Megan got top 5 best bodies in the game. And it seemed like she getting a little bit thicker. It was like she was in her skinny era last year. But now that she with Klay Thompson, it seems like she's in her thick era. Okay, again. And it's like given how she looked a few years ago when she was Tina Snow, her alter ego. Okay, she going back to that Tina Snow era. Okay. But I'll be honest with you, the song is completely trash to me. But the video was fire, in my opinion. But I feel like it was a little bit explicit, but that's Megan Thee Stallion's lane. Okay. But it brings me to basically what I tweeted yesterday. And I said, a lot of y'all are afraid to admit there is a certain female rapper that has shown absolutely no growth when it comes to their music, but gets a pass because they are the industry fave. Okay. And a lot of people, didn't really catch who I was talking about. Some did, some didn't, but I was referring to Megan Thee Stallion. Okay? And the reason why I said this about Megan is because Megan continues to do the same type of records where she's talking about her coochie and her man and her body, but we haven't really seen her elevate her flow. We haven't seen her evolve when it comes to the beats and the samples. It's kind of like the same type of beat, the same type of flow, the same type of cadence, the same type of lyrics, okay? And there's a few artists that are like that. It's not just Megan Thee Stallion, but Megan gets a pass for it. Other rappers don't get a pass for their lack of talent. Cardi B don't really get a pass, from the general public. She might get a pass, by certain people in the industry, but I also feel like a lot of people in the industry still don't really mess with Cardi B. Because when you think about it, a lot of male rappers really don't go out their way to work with Cardi B because they don't respect her as a lyricist. And they don't think she's hot enough. If we talking about realistically, she's not getting Lil Baby and Future on records. Young Thug and Rob 49 kind of washed up, no shade. Like Rob 49, he had, a little bit of a hit last year, but it's not like he puts out bangers every single time he drops and he's not topping the charts. Okay, like a lot of the male industry rappers don't really mess with Cardi B, but a lot of male industry rappers did mess with Megan Thee Stallion before she snitched on Tory, or basically sent Tory to jail. Okay, because they probably consider it snitching in hip hop. But the reason why I said she was the industry fave is because at the end of the day, she got 3 Grammys. And she can't even do 100K first week, but got 3 Grammys. Cardi B only got 1. Camel Face co-signed Megan. Queen B co-signed Megan. Camel Face let Cardi B sample, his song, but he didn't really co-sign her like that. He ain't signed her to Devil Nation. He ain't allow Cardi B to get no Queen B collaboration. So I feel like Meg gets more of that push by certain people in the industry, more protection in the industry than Cardi B. Okay? If it wasn't for the Tory Lanez situation, Megan would be getting all the male rappers on records. All the male rappers would be working with Megan. But if we're being completely honest, her music is lackluster. And I said this before. I think Megan makes worse music than Cardi B. A lot of people didn't like when I said that, but it's true. I think she makes worse music than Cardi B, and this is the worst female rap song of the year. The worst female rap song of the year is this one that Megan Thee Stallion put out. Now, moving on from that, Halle Bailey's Love or Something Like It has reached #1 on the iTunes US R&B chart for the first time ever. So congratulations to Halle Bailey. And y'all need to continue to support Halle because this album cannot flop like y'all did Bia. Y'all did Bia dirty. I already talked about that. So I cannot have y'all do Halle Bailey dirty. She better sell more than 2,000 first week. That's all I know. She better sell more than 2,000 units first week or some people will be receiving 50,000 lashings for not supporting Halle Bailey. The album is fire, so there's no reason why y'all shouldn't support it. Now, JT is about to drop a banger, okay? She teased her new song, Girls Gone Wild, and it has a little bit of a rock element to the song. But this song is a boppity bop. Y'all better not let this flop like y'all did Ran Out. Ran Out was a bop and y'all didn't support it. I'm tired of y'all. Okay? We gotta support JT's new single because this is about to be a banger. And I can hear, if 3 Dreads wasn't washed up, but I could hear Wayne, '08 Wayne on this record. Wayne now washed up, dreads dried up, okay? He ain't got it like he used to, in my opinion, and that's why his album that he recently dropped, what was that, the Carter 6, was trash. But with that being said, I'm hoping that JT is able to elevate with this record and really get some mainstream success, because I do feel like she does deserve it. So let me know how y'all like the snippet. I feel like it's a boppity bop. And speaking of JT, her and Gorilla Glue do have a record in the stash. They did make up behind the scenes. I've said this before. And they do have a record in the stash. So I'm interested in hearing how that sounds. Especially since Gorilla Glue has a decent relationship with Cardi B. I wonder how Cardi B is going to feel about JT and Gorilla Glue doing a collaboration, especially since a few days ago, she basically said that she was preparing her diss record back to JT.
Just found out BR numbers yesterday. I'm not gonna pick on her because of that shit. That's overkill. That's overkill. You know why I didn't reply to the other bitch? Cause bitch, I'm gonna reply to you on my time, like I did again. I'm gonna have you feeling sleeping like you tuck. But it's not because I don't got shit. It's not because I can't flame you, bitch. You don't look fucking better than me or nothing. You can't rap better than me. You don't look better than me. You can't do nothing better than me. Bitches can do nothing better than me. Nothing. I'm gonna let you think you have that. I'm gonna let you think you have that. That's what I do though. I let bitches think that they have that. Y'all bitches is easy.
Now, this is why I do think Cardi B is a little bit delusional. In no way, shape, or form do you look better than JT, okay? Just because you're light-skinned or Latina. Nobody can say they look better than somebody and has changed their face as many times as you have, okay? Whether you got fillers, whether it was the nose job, the cat eye, the botched Squidward thighs, you cannot talk about people's looks and look the way you do, and you still don't look the baddest in the game after all that surgery. After all that surgery, you're still ugly. And that's what gets me. I don't get it. How can you call people ugly or saying, oh, I look better than you when you don't? Do you need a mirror? Are you delusional? Did the anesthesia go to your brain? I'm confused, because first she called Armand ugly, which, that's, she going up against a man. But to call JT ugly or say you look better than JT, I got to stop you right there, because there's never a time where you look better than JT. You might dress better than JT. I might give you that. You might dress better. Okay, the budgets are different. But when we're talking about face card to face card, that's a lie. Okay, the only reason why you think that is because you light skinned and Latina. That's the only reason why you think that. I don't really believe in your hearts of hearts that you think you're pretty like that. Anybody that thinks they're pretty doesn't have to constantly say that they are. Okay? I think anybody that has to constantly say that they are pretty or they look better than somebody, that's not what they really feel. Okay? You're trying to boost up your own self-esteem because you know you're not that bitch. You the worst looking female rapper other than Gorilla Glue. You like a tier above Gorilla Glue. All the other female rappers, including Bia, look better than you, face card wise. You talk about face card wise, they all look better than you except Gorilla Glue. Now, moving on from that, we gotta get into the Braxtons real quick, okay? Y'all know who Toni Braxton and her family is, so I don't even need to give an introduction to that. But they dropped a trailer or maybe a clip, because I don't watch the show. But they dropped a clip for their new season, and a lot of secrets get revealed, okay? Towanda was exposed as a thief and a brokey.
Know where you live?
Well, of course you don't come. So
exactly.
My thing, I know where you live because I put down your down payment.
Beautiful.
And you've been stealing from me for the past couple years on my credit cards. Help me.
But what you steal?
I don't steal anything.
You don't? You sold men.
Who's the man that I stole?
Tony's. You slept with them a few times.
Okay, so that was a little bit of a clip of what was going down between Tamar Braxton and Towanda. Tamar reveals that Towanda steals. Towanda deflected and said that Tamar slept with two of Tony's men, which A lot of people are speculating one of the men is Birdman, which I don't know if I fully believe that. I don't fully believe that. I'm sorry. I don't think nobody willingly will sleep with Birdman. Sorry. So there's that. And then it was revealed that Tamar also gave Tawanda a down payment for her house, and Tawanda's married. Okay, so you broke and married. How? Where's your man? Okay, so I do have to give Tawanda 50,000 lashings. I feel like a lot of the sisters, I think Tamar is very loud, but a lot of the sisters are very jealous of Tamar. And I also remember their niece coming out and saying that Trina's husband allegedly had touched her. Okay, so it comes off as no shade that Trina and Tawanda are the evil aunties and sisters. And with sisters and aunts like that, who needs enemies? Because that niece was a minor, and she said she was basically removed from the family, shunned, because Trina's ex-husband was allegedly filling up on her when she was a minor. Okay. And then, cease and desist got sent out. So, I just don't respect it. And I think that if Tawanda's going to ask Tamar for money, you shouldn't be throwing shade and trying to drag her publicly. You look like a bum. Okay, bums do that because at the end of the day, you can get a job. You don't have a job. Tamar sings, she acts, she be in different shows. You don't do none of that. What's your job title? Okay, we don't know. So that's what I'm saying. I think it's kind of fake for her to move that way. Now here comes young toilet seat, pissy face Karisha again with the shade towards Tyler. Like, girl, hang it up. It's over for you. She quoted a tweet she posted in August saying, "Take me to Chanel is a hit. Everybody trying to take my song from me. No, no, no." And then Karisha responded and said, "I love a good receipt." Okay. Here's my thing with Karisha. The song is trash. Okay. Another thing about Karisha is that I think she's so big-headed because she was able to drink Diddy's urine that she thinks she's like a talented or a good rapper or that she's that bitch. And you're not. Okay, I'm here to tell you you're not. That's why when you went solo and JT went solo, JT had more success because she's more talented. Okay, the only thing keeping you afloat is Mr. Brown and Diddy's pee stains. Okay? Other than that, you would have disappeared a long time ago. I suggest that maybe you go in Love and Hip Hop where you belong and call it the day or wait for Diddy to come out of prison so he can be your sugar daddy again. But you're not talented, and that's point blank, period. Sit down. But anyway, I got some very hot tea on Nicki Minaj, Sydney Sweetie, Queen Taylor, and D'Angelo on Patreon. Link will be in the description. I hope you guys have a great day.